It had been 6 years since humanity had joined the Galactic Senate. A small and relative newcomer to galactic society, the humans had nevertheless made peaceful contact with several other races in their part of the galaxy. While a vast majority of races were peaceful, they had been warned about the Muruk, a powerful race known for their warlike tendencies. The human ambassador, Ambassador Clark, was at lunch when she was confronted by the Muruk ambassador, Ambassador Kalof, who stood 7 feet tall and was wearing the normal Muruk body armor. Normally, such armor would be banned in the Galactic Senate, but the Muruk had pushed through an exception, claiming it was their cultural dress. "Greetings, Ambassador Clark," growled Ambassador Kalof. "I am pleased to say I have learned something of your history. A story of what was described as your race's greatest battle, the Battle of Cannae. It is said that over 130,000 were killed in one battle. This is more impressive than most puny races have ever managed. The Muruk, however, have taken war to a much greater level. After their industrial revolution, most races turn away from warfare, but we embraced it even more. It seems you have done the same, albeit to a much lesser degree than us. Our greatest battle lasted for 136 days and cost the lives of almost 500,000 of our warriors." Ambassador Kalof smiled, showing his fangs. "Given our clear superiority in warfare, I expect no complaints with our little treaty." He then placed a folder in front of Ambassador Clark. "I give you 3 days to respond." Ambassador Clark took the folder and started skimming the contents. It was an obvious shakedown. Demands for territorial concessions, one-sided deals, and even outright tribute. "I see," Ambassador Clark replied calmly. "I must consult my government, but you will have answer in 3 days." Just 1 day later, Ambassador Clark entered the office of Ambassador Kalof, carrying what appeared to be an ancient weapon. "Good morning, Ambassador," Clark said with a smile. "I would like to present you with a personal gift." Ambassador Clark laid the spear on Ambassador Kalof's desk. "That is a 3,000-year-old Roman spear, an irreplaceable relic of our pre-industrial past." Ambassador Clark looks directly into Ambassador Kalof's eyes. It also happens to be the most advanced weapon used in the Battle of Cannae. "Impossible," snapped Ambassador Kalof. "You lie, no pre-industrial battle could generate such losses. Cannae happened around 2,000 years before we humans had our industrial revolution. It also happened in just a single day," she said coldly. "For our industrial era, you would be better off studying something called Operation Barbarossa. Now that is what humans consider a real battle. It was part of our Second Global War and lasted a little over 5 months. The military alone lost almost 3.5 million killed and missing in this case just means there wasn't enough of a body left to identify." "But that's insane," insisted Ambassador Kalof. "No race could ever do that to themselves." "Oh, we did far worse than that to ourselves," answered Ambassador Clark grimly. "That war only ended after the deaths of 75 million humans and our first 2 uses of atomic weapons." You killed 75 million? And used atomic weapons inside your own biosphere?" gasped Ambassador Kalof in disbelief. "Yes, and our use of chemical and biological weapons predates that." Ambassador Clark now looked at Ambassador Kalof with the kind of look a cat gives a mouse right before it pounces. "Now as for your treaty, I have decided to personally reject it." Ambassador Kalof sits in stunned disbelief as Ambassador Clark continues. "If I took this to my government, they might consider it a declaration of war, and I'm sure you wouldn't want that now, would you?" Ambassador Kalof outweighed Ambassador Clark at least twice over and was a veteran warrior who had distinguished himself in several battles. But the tone of the human's last question chilled him to his very core. "No, we won't," he managed to squeak. Since that day, there has not been any formal treaties between the humans and the Muruk. It has, however, been noticed by several races that the Muruk avoid any system that contains even the smallest human outpost.